So sometimes I feel like the preferences are unrealistic. So, por ejemplo, there is a dating, excuse me, not a dating coach, a matchmaker. So she gets paid to put successful couples together. And this was part of her finding.
Many women, I'm not going to say all women, but many women are very, very unrealistic about their standards for men, dating, and marriage. So I'm going to give my opinion on this. And now listen, girls, I'm about to be very raw. I'm about to be very real. I'm about to just shoot it to you as just straight as I can, because I'm hoping that this helps somebody. Because as you girls know, I'm a matchmaker. And for a large part of the end of last year and the beginning of this year, I stopped matchmaking. And the reason I stopped matchmaking is because I literally was I can't handle female clients. I was a matchmaker that matched females, and I had a few male clients, but predominantly I was matching women. And listen, it was such a valuable lesson for me, because what I learned is that the average woman doesn't really want just a good man. She doesn't want a husband. What she's really wanting are these standards or ideas that she has of what a man is supposed to be. But this is nothing what men are. This is not realistic for who men are, how they think, what they value. It's just this preconceived, idea that women have of who men should be. But this is not reality, okay? So literally, the standards here that I see consistently in women that stay single, do not get married, and the difference between women and wives is understanding, one, that men are not women. He's not going to be your best friend like your best girlfriend. You can't talk to him like that. They don't talk like that. They don't talk that much. They're not so sensitive and girly the way we are as women. So if you're expecting a man to be all super sensitive and so considerate and just so everything like your girlfriends, you're barking up the wrong tree. He's going to hurt your feelings all the time, or else you're going to feel like he doesn't communicate because you're holding these standards like he's a girl. I'm sorry. Leave that to your gay guy friends, or leave that to your bestie guys that talk kind of like girls. Your man that you're going to marry is not going to be like that, right? The second standard is this. You're comparing good men to, I can't say this, F-boys. I'm just going to say it. You're comparing good men to the men that you've experienced previously who were not ready to be husbands, that you were just dating, messing around with. I mean, literally, there's a distinct difference between marriage material, men who are ready to be husbands, and these F-boys that you've been messing around with in and out of these situationships with for years. And so now you have this standard for a man and a husband based on these dudes that have just been playboys, fun, boy toys, whatever you want to call it, girls, okay? You can call it whatever you want. But now you set this standard to say he's supposed to look like this. He's supposed to act like that. Oh, you know what? He's too corny. He likes me too much. He texts me too much. Yeah, because the men that you were messing with, you weren't even the only one. They don't text you right back. They don't call you right back because they have 8 more just like you. So a man comes along that is crazy about you and is interested in you. And I'm sorry to say, you have friend zoned the men that really you're compatible with, the men that would make a wonderful husband. A lot of you have friend zoned the good dude who's ready to be a husband and a father and give you some pretty babies. Because the other thing is men do not look like us. Let me be clear about this. We are the fairer sex. God created us to be beautiful, not men. If you get a pretty boy and they super fine and they in the mirror more than you, honey, rest assured, he probably got some habits that go along with that. He needs all the attention from all the women because he likes to feel like he's it. And if he's actually bigger than you, you got a problem. But the problem is you looking at visuals and thinking that men are supposed to look like us or be just as gorgeous as us. No, that's not how God created this whole scenario. You are the fairer sex. You're the beautiful one. You're the gorgeous one. You're the one that men go to war over. You're the one that men literally will kill for. You're the one that they're out here trying to make all this money to impress you, to get you. Quit looking at men. Is he 6'2"? Is he look like Boris Kodjoe or Idris Elba or Michael Ealy? Do you know the percentages of men? This is what I just would die to say to my matchmaking clients and the people that would come in for consultations because they want to be matched. And they're coming to me. I'm sitting here just being a good woman. So I'm thinking these women just want to marry. These women just want a good man. Nah, boo, that's not what they wanted. What they want is if I'm going to pay this money, I want me a Michael Ealy. I want me a Boris Kodjoe. Well, look, boo, Boris Kodjoe's married. Last time I checked, Idris Elba's taken. These men are such a small percentage of the population. Do you guys understand that for a man to be over 6'2" is less than 3% of the population? And we're talking all men around the world, less than 3% of the population. Now you take out the gay guys and you take out the guys that are not Black or whatever race specific that you prefer your husband to be. And you take out the men that are broke and you take out the players, the men who are just not ready and who are not ready to get married, aren't even looking for a wife, don't want that responsibility yet. Think about these numbers. Less than 3%. Less than 14% of the entire American male population is over 6 foot. Less than 14%. And that's all the married men and the men in prison, all of them girls. So you're sitting around here like, oh, he's got to be 6 foot and he's got to look like this and he's got to make 6 figures or 7 figures. When you start at just height alone, do you hear the percentage that I just gave you on just height? Just height. And if you add in what he looks like looking like Idris and making money like this and that, honey, look, you looking for the come up for real because I don't know where he's at. I was matchmaking. I would be like, man, I would go find these incredible men. And they would be like, oh, I would never date him. I'm like, I just went and found a freaking pilot, a ex-Falcons player. Are you serious? But he don't look, it's like he's gotta be perfect. But you're not perfect. You got issues and unresolved issues, and you got a temper, and you're bossy and you're controlling, and men don't even like to be around you long term. You run everybody away. You think you're so much the ish that you're bougie and vain and stuck up. And men don't like it. And you wonder why you can't keep a man. You wonder why nobody wants to be around.
So welcome back, KG. And it's good to know that you can actually hear us. Welcome back.
You're on mute.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I muted you. No, you good.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was interesting.
Very. She went in. She said a lot. A lot. Agree that women, we do sometimes have very unrealistic expectations. And again, the older we get, the more I think we have to lower our expectations or stop trying to check the boxes off, so to speak. So having experiences with F-boys, as she said, is not something that's going to successfully set you up for a husband, right? You can't think that, your success rate or who you've dealt with, if all you've dealt with were F-boys, as she called them, and now you're ready to look for a husband, and in the end, tying it back together, she said you have to do some self-work, internal work. You got to work on yourself. dealing with those F boys, changes you in a way. So I think you need to take a step back, work on yourself, before you figure out, that you want a husband and what you want in that husband. But again, as part of her job, I think it's for her to take what it is that you're looking for and what you want in order to make you with that. If it's not something that you were looking for, if it's not something I was looking for, I have the right to say, no, he's not my type, or he doesn't fit the mold that I'm looking for. If I came to you looking for a mold, I'm expecting you to fit somebody in that mold. But again, don't disagree that, some standards are very far out there. It was very entertaining though, her whole speech.
That was only half of it, by the way. But KG, your thoughts for the part that you did hear, sir?
I'm pausing for a dramatic effect. Is it working? So I've had that exact same conversation with women before. I think that her perspective is what gives this podcast life. That is the reason why this podcast is an actual thing. That is the reason why I've emphasized so many times about having elaborate traps. That is why men focus on their goals and not focus on the women. I say all that to say that a lot of times women stand in their way. Not that it's only a woman's fault, but a lot of times their emotions don't align with their logic, and there's constant inner conflict. So you want a guy that's this, and the third, and you have a guy that's this, and the third, but you want it specifically from this one, not from the one who's offering it to you. It doesn't make any sense. So I think what she said was spot on. I think we touched on it a little bit in our last show last week. Men don't do that. You said, what's the ideal time for a man to settle down? How does he know when it's the one? We don't operate that way. When we feel ready to settle down, if we're with somebody that, is agreeable and we can talk to and understand and work with, that's what we work with. It's not necessarily based on all of the other check marks that you guys have. I think that there's a lot of life in that. I think that was spot on.
Yeah. Oh, Miss Ariella, please.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say I agree with Jamar in the comments. She was telling people to live in reality. Her message, may have come off a little more harsh. But yeah, it is unrealistic to say, oh, I want a Shamar Moore or Idris Elba, whoever, the celebrities that she named, and a dude over 6 foot. Right. I don't disagree with any of those stats that she threw out there. Yes, people do need to live more realistic or think more realistic in terms of their partner and what exactly they're looking for. Like, those are like external things, right? I know sometimes looks are a thing for people. That's cool. But again, in reality, like, what do you know about Idris Elba? What do you know about Shamar Moore? Just besides the fact that he looks nice, but also because he's on TV. Like, that's not how you build your partner, your mate, your husband. That's not how you look for your husband, just based off of, oh, he looks like Taye Diggs. So what? As like I said before, we have to stop looking to check off all these different boxes.
That's sound advice, and I completely agree, which is why I would offer some consideration for the ladies. Because if you are delusional in this aspect, in terms of having, let's say boxes, to use the vernacular, that are literally unrealistic with reality and facts, you might end up doing this in life.
Girls, make sure your vibrator and your taser are different colors.
I mean, who wants that smoke? No, nobody wants that smoke. You feel me?
You're killing them. I think the thing is that they don't realize it's unrealistic, bro. You know what I mean? Like they don't think they think it's very attainable. And maybe it is. You know what I mean? But too many romance movies, watching The Notebook and all this sort of shit. It's real life out here, man. Like when you connect with somebody, you have something solid with somebody, you build off of that. But that doesn't even hold weight. Like they won't even connect because they have all these other things going on. So somebody that they do have a natural innate connection with, they end up friend zoning them because maybe they're not as attractive or they're not as tall or whatever. I don't know.
Or as masculine, right?
True.